Welcome back to Mr. Craven History and our journey through the Cold War. Today, we'll explore the refugee crisis in Berlin, Khrushchev's Berlin Ultimatum of 1958, and the pivotal summit meetings of 1959 to 1961. After World War II, Berlin became a focal point of Cold War tensions, divided into four sectors controlled by the US, the UK, France, and the Soviet Union. Berlin symbolized the broader ideological struggle between East and West. By the 1950s, a significant problem emerged for the Soviet Union: the refugee crisis. Between 1949 and 1961, approximately 2.7 million East Germans fled to the West. The reasons were clear. People sought political freedom, economic opportunities, and a better quality of life. This mass exodus threatened the stability and image of East Germany, and broadly speaking, the entire Soviet Union. Central to this problem was the unique and problematic position of Berlin, as it was a point of significant vulnerability where East Germans could easily defect to the West. In 1958, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev issued a bold ultimatum regarding Berlin. He demanded that the Western Allies withdraw their military forces from West Berlin within 6 months and make it a free city, ostensibly neutral but under indirect Soviet control. Khrushchev described Berlin as a fishbone stuck in the Soviet throat and a hole in the Iron Curtain. His ultimatum was a direct challenge to the West. The United States, under President Eisenhower, and its allies firmly rejected the demand, viewing it as a threat to their influence and the security of West Berlin. To address the growing tensions, several summit meetings were held between 1959 and 1961. The first major meeting was the Geneva Summit in 1959, where Khrushchev and Eisenhower attempted to ease Cold War tensions. But the Berlin issue remained unresolved. Later that year, Khrushchev visited the United States, meeting Eisenhower at Camp David. While the visit was cordial and led to the so-called spirit of Camp David, no concrete agreements were made regarding Berlin. In 1960, the Paris Summit was expected to make further progress. However, the meeting was overshadowed by the U-2 incident, where an American spy plane was shot down over the Soviet Union, leading to the collapse of the summit and heightened tensions. The final crucial meeting was the Vienna Summit in June 1961, where the new US President, John F. Kennedy, met with Khrushchev. The discussions were tense, with Khrushchev reiterating his threats over Berlin. Kennedy stood firm, asserting the West's commitment to defending the city. Widely considered to have been a diplomatic disaster, Kennedy overestimated his own ability to negotiate with the vastly more experienced Khrushchev. Kennedy would later say that Khrushchev savaged me. Khrushchev was also unimpressed with Kennedy, telling his interpreter that this man is very inexperienced, even immature. Compared to him, Eisenhower is a man of intelligence and vision. By August 1961, the situation reached a boiling point. The East German government, backed by the Soviets, began constructing the Berlin Wall. This physical barrier effectively stopped the flow of refugees and became a stark symbol of the Cold War division. The Berlin Wall not only divided the city, but also families and friends. Its construction marked a turning point in the Cold War, emphasizing the severe ideological divide and the lengths to which the East would go to prevent defections. As a student, it is important to understand the sequence of events from Khrushchev's initial ultimatum up to the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961, but also the importance of individual moments. Each summit meeting has consequences for the relationship between the superpowers, with Camp David being a rare example of a positive development during this period. Now, please do all the usual YouTube stuff. Leave a comment and check out the rest of the Cold War videos in this playlist. Spread the word about Mr. Craven History. See you next time.